Good morning, Scott Cullen, Editor-in-Chief, the Cannata Report here once again. It's Friday morning and it's time for Fridays with Frank. And we are recording this after some really big news has hit the wires. And Frank and I were just on a session this morning, a webinar with Larry White of Toshiba. And Frank's got some thoughts about some of this big news that's going on. Frank, why don't you take it away, because I know you have a lot to say on this topic.
Well, thank you so much, Scott. First off, for our audience, we just posted, or Scott posted earlier this morning. We're talking about May 19th now, because this is when the taping is being done. Our views on what this thing was all about. And I was real pleased to see we didn't miss the mark by bunch, because Larry White, first off, did a great presentation about what this thing really means, the benefit to Toshiba, and more importantly, for our audience, to Toshiba dealers, because the common perception among, dealers are, it's just an amazing part of about how dealers think. Most of them are going to think negatively about this, because what they, particularly the Toshiba dealers, are going to say, Toshiba's going out of business. Ricoh's going to buy them, and that's the end of Toshiba. That's not the case. What Larry affirmed, and he did it so eloquently, is what this thing really means. You know, he started it off perfectly by quoting some statistics from Deloitte. MFPs are declining at the rate of 3 to 7%. Okay, per year. This is what's going on. Those numbers combine both A3 and A4, and they slightly distort A4. A4 much less so than A3. And I think that's been a fact everybody's recognized, that particularly the dealers, as they're replacing more A3s with A4s every day. So let's stop and think about that for a moment. A4s are going to be around a little bit longer. But what I was gratified about the remark, and the write-up that I did, the analysis I did, basically it's going to take 3 years before you see a product that's a result of this thing. But what Larry surprised us with, he said, effective April 2024, they're going to, this joint development unit, which is the development and manufacturing of MFPs, is going to be manufacturing current products. So for almost a 2-year period, this joint venture will be producing existing Toshiba dealers at a much lower cost. Wow. I didn't figure. So now everybody has got to be smiling. In the Toshiba organization, we just reduced our cost of business. And that is a significant advantage. We got an email, which I know you got a copy of too, Scott, from somebody who shared with us, hey, this is not new. This has gone on in the automobile industry. It's gone on in the electronics industry for years, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, we get it. But the important thing is that all of those other companies that have done things, it didn't relate to a distribution like dealers. That's the big difference in this announcement. This is one of the most significant announcements for the dealers that we know and love, because this will protect those that want to stay in the business, who like the relationship with Ricoh and with Toshiba. They just reduce their cost of business. They can make a greater investment in R&D and IT and other areas, which are points that Larry made. And really, it's all about maintaining distribution. The term I used in the frankly speaking piece is sustainability. You've got to do things that sustain the business. In fact, we had the pleasure earlier of interviewing Mark Hart from ACDI talking about electric vehicles. And it's great to hear how well that is going. Diversification. So between diversification and manufacturers taking steps like this joint venture is a home run. It's a win for everybody. I can't see how this is a negative. And all those dealers who think Toshiba is going out of business, you got it wrong. And that's my story for today, Scott.